Right, we're just going to freeball this one and jump straight into it. So, I spent my afternoon on my first day on my Christmas break trying to figure out this new bloody atlas, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. But, after going through many guides and filtering through a lot of bullshit and people who think they know what's happening, it's a lot simpler than it seems. So, how this new atlas works is fundamentally the same as how the old atlas worked, except they've just re-geared it to make it that little bit harder. And what I mean by that is, and the first thing for anyone, now this video is for people getting stuck. Now, as you can see, I don't have an awakened level yet because I am still unlocking more and more gems, but I'm up to about 13, I think. Basically, how this atlas works is the first point of call. First thing I had to learn when I was learning how to unlock past I think gem 12 on the atlas was if you hover over these little boxes to the side, it actually tells you what you need to do to unlock or spawn a conqueror or a exile slayer or whatever it is. This is the first thing you need to know about how to play this atlas. If you haven't picked up on this already, then this is a useful thing. What you'll notice is there's a lot less of a requirement on the outside for watchstones than what there is on the inside. And the reason being is the old map used to work its way inwards, and this map does the same thing. So if we hover over here, for example, so now that I've already unlocked one watchstone, which would have taken 2 watchstones to get to, potentially only 1. Now if I put 3 watchstones in here and do these maps, then I will, after a few maps, prompt a conqueror to basically pop up. And that's pretty much how this works. So if you look at here, see this Valdo's Rest, I've unlocked all of these. So there's no point in me doing any more of these maps at this very point until I unlock the rest. So what I basically do is repurpose my watchstones that I have unlocked and move them into areas where I need to farm and unlock those areas. And I know how many watchstones I need based on these boxes here telling me. So for example, this area here. So I've obtained all 4 watchstones for this area. Realistically, meaning I probably shouldn't have any watchstones in here because there's no point. I don't need to run these maps anymore. So what I'll actually do is move these watchstones in the areas where I don't have all the watchstones unlocked, and then I'll unlock all of those watchstones. And that's basically how this map works. So if we go to here, New Vista, so now what I would probably do at this point is put 2 of the watchstones that are in here down into here. Now what'll happen is I'll be able to unlock the red and the blue watchstone, because the prompt for the red and the blue watchstone is that there needs to be 3 watchstones spawned in there to spawn a conqueror. And then what'll happen is I'll do these maps and then the conqueror will appear. Now the other thing that you need to know about doing the maps, and this is something that I had to fuck around with for a little while, is before you start unlocking other areas, you want to basically pool up maps, and you get map drops. So if you do this area, you will get map drops for other areas on the map instead of having to buy them. Now you still want to go through and do as many maps as you can to open up your pool. As you can see, I've got 99 maps that I've done uniquely. But here's the next thing that you need to know. I'm just trying to remember my train of thought right now because there was so much shit in figuring out this. So I really have to sell that. Sorry, had to make a sale there. So back to what I was talking about. Now, when you put a watchstone in the map, right, and you want a conqueror to spawn, you can't do... So say I had only 2 in right, and I have a level 10 cage map that comes up here. Now, if I put the 3rd in, and I'm thinking, get in there, you prick, get in there. And I'm thinking that that cage map will still unlock the conqueror. No, that's incorrect. How this works is you need to do maps at the current tier that the 3 watchstones match to, which means if I have 3 watchstones in here and it's telling me I need 3 watchstones to spawn a conqueror, then I need to do the maps equivalent to the 3 watchstones, which means I need to do a level 12 cage match and not a cage map and not a level 10 cage map. And that is how I will get my conqueror to spawn. And that's how I basically target farm. So I basically want to do other areas that I've unlocked at a higher tier, or at least if I want to have map spawning, I basically want to farm other areas, and then I either want to use Orbs of Horizon, or I want to basically quant and magic find maps for the other areas to unlock more maps for me to do. And that's basically how this atlas works. That is what I struggled to find information about. Essentially, you're basically just having a spread of gems and target farming. Now, I would suggest this. It might seem like a great idea to want to do awakening bonus levels early as soon as you get 4 watchstones. Do not socket all 4 watchstones in an area, especially if you're not at a level that you can take the boss down at. Now, I can take the boss down right now. I'm 91 and I'm running an SRS with zombies, so I can sustain it. It's a long fight. They're fucking hard, even at tier 3. There's so much health. They may not damage you when I do 1,000 health regen per second, but they're fucking hard. But if you socket all 4 into a citadel, right, and it goes into this color mode, as you can see, you can't see any citadels in here right now. And that's because I'm in the process of farming maps to unlock the boss fight. Now, it takes 3, once it hits the color in the zone, it takes 3, they basically need to, the Conqueror needs to come after you 3 times in a map, or harass you 3 times in a map for the Conqueror fight to spawn. That's basically the mechanic there. If your watchstones are locked up in that area, which 6 of mine right now are, then you basically can't do anything past that point. There's no way to pull those watchstones out. There's no way to reset. There's no way. You have to farm those maps, and then potentially you need to do the boss fight. And if you can't win the boss fight, you need to lose the boss fight. And that means you're going to lose basically all of your fucking XP. So, and that's what, how many portals you open up? 6 portals. So don't socket 4 watchstones in a point unless you absolutely need to, or if you're at a level where you can handle doing bosses at 4 watchstones. Anyway, that's how watchstones work. And what you will find is as you move into the center, not so much the outside, you will need more watchstones as a standard rule to trigger a Conqueror. So in the interior, what I noticed is I needed 3 watchstones socketed at any one time to get a tier 2, to get a Conqueror to spawn, so I could get a second watchstone for that area itself. Whereas in the outer areas, you basically start 1 and then 2 watchstones. So the outer areas, like the previous map, are easier than the interior areas. So fundamentally, the map works the same way the old map worked. They just put in a more complicated mechanic to make it basically more complicated and harder to progress through because power creep, reasons. Anyway, if my explanation wasn't clear enough, pretty much to sum up, check your boxes here, see how many watchstones you need to put in to spawn a Conqueror, and then basically target farm, buy maps. The other thing you can do to get more higher tier maps is to delve down to about 200, 250, and when you actually get map drops, you'll get maps. And the other way is, because the Metamorph League, you can get modifiers on the Metamorph bosses for map drops. So if you're doing other higher tier map drops, so if I'm doing a higher tier map over here, then I want a Metamorph that can drop higher tier, that I want to select the map tier drops to get other maps and potentially get maps here. And also, if I'm doing maps over here, there's a good potential chance I'm going to get maps for over here. Maps that they'll pretty much drop, and you just need to basically farm. It's a farmer's game at that point, just to get the maps drop, or you just buy them one way or another. And then basically you run those maps enough times, and then the Conqueror will spawn. You go kill the Conqueror, you get a new watchstone, and then I think you get like 32 watchstones or whatever it is. I don't know. I haven't counted that far. What do we got? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Oh yeah, 28, 32. Yep. So 32 watchstones. That's basically how the mechanic works. I went all over the internet this afternoon trying to find a decent guide. This is the best way that I can basically break down how to comprehend with this mechanic. This is probably the simplest way to do it. The first step is basically just reading here. So with Lexajoris, I need to put another 2 Watchstones in, and then run maps in there, and the Conqueror will spawn. And that's how you target farm this. There's no complex strategy or anything like that. It's literally as simple as that. Yeah, there we go. If this helps at all, as you can tell, I got really frustrated with this shit today. Like and sub, and if it doesn't help, well, you know what, whatever. If it doesn't help, you're probably not going to understand the mechanic. Or just do what other people have done and just gamble the fuck out of it and hope the fuck you get the boss drops. Anyway, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.